So this is the iPhone 13 Pro. This phone in this graphite color was my daily driver for a solid 2 years. It's been an incredible device, and honestly, even now in 2025, it's still an amazing iPhone for most daily casual tasks. And this is the brand new iPhone 17 Pro. The question I've been asking myself, and probably the reason you're here, is after 4 years, is this the upgrade we've actually been waiting for? In this video, we're gonna break that down side by side. This is for anyone still holding onto a 13 Pro or maybe even an 11 or 12 Pro, and you're wondering if now is the time to make that big jump. I skipped the 14 Pro, went with the iPhone 15 Pro, and then skipped the 16 Pro because for me, the upgrades felt a bit, incremental. So today we're looking at a true 4-generation leap. We'll compare everything from the design and display to the performance and battery, and of course that huge camera upgrade. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with how these phones look and feel. In my left hand, the iPhone 13 Pro. This design is iconic for its era. A surgical grade stainless steel frame with these sharp, flat edges. It has this heft, this dense premium feel that honestly still feels top tier today. The display is a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR screen, and this was the phone that first brought us ProMotion. That super smooth 120Hz adaptive refresh rate was a genuine game changer back in 2021, and it still makes scrolling feel incredibly fluid. Now let's look at the iPhone 17 Pro. It's a totally different approach. Instead of stainless steel, we have a Unibody Aluminum design. And I know what you might be thinking, aluminum, isn't that a downgrade? And yeah, when you hold them side by side, the 13 Pro feels denser, but the 17 Pro is just so comfortable. The more rounded edges feel great in the hand, and it's surprisingly light. The screen is also a bit bigger at 6.3 inches, but because the bezels are so much thinner, the overall size difference isn't that dramatic. And this display is ridiculously bright, hitting 3000 nits peak outdoor brightness. But with this new aluminum design, there is something really important to consider: the scratchgate issue. Early reviews and durability tests, like from Jerry Rig Everything, showed that the anodized coating on the aluminum can chip, especially on the sharp corners of this new camera plateau. It seems to be most noticeable on the colored models like Cosmic Orange and Deep Blue. That's honestly why I went with this silver model. It should hide any potential nicks a lot better. So if you're going caseless, that's definitely something to keep in mind. So how do they perform? Honestly, for most things, the iPhone 13 Pro is still fantastic. The A15 Bionic chip in here is no slouch. I ran Geekbench 6 on it, and it pulled a 2417 on single core and 5766 on multi-core. For day-to-day stuff, opening apps, swiping around, multitasking, it's still incredibly smooth. A big reason for that is the 6GB of RAM, which really helps keep apps from reloading in the background. It even handles the new liquid glass design language in iOS 26 really well, which is pretty resource heavy with all its new fluid animations. But the iPhone 17 Pro is just an absolute monster. It's got the new A19 Pro chip, and my Geekbench 6 scores were just insane. 3822 for single core and 9848 for multi-core. For context, that multi-core score is faster than an M2 iPad Pro. It's desktop class power in a phone. It also has 12GB of RAM, double the 13 Pro, so multitasking is on another level. But here's the real magic: how it handles that power. For the first time, Apple put a vapor chamber cooling system in an iPhone, and you can feel it. When I was setting this phone up, which is usually when iPhones get pretty warm, this stayed noticeably cool. This is a huge deal for sustained performance, especially for gaming, and this is where that move to aluminum makes perfect sense. The vapor chamber pulls heat away from the chip, and the aluminum body acts like a big radiator to get rid of that heat, which it does way better than titanium or steel. Now for a huge one, the battery. My iPhone 13 Pro's battery health is down to 71%, and at this point, it's pretty bad. I mean, if I try to use this as my main phone for a day, I'm charging it 2, sometimes 3 times. The standby drain is also way faster than it used to be. It's just not reliable anymore, and I know I'm not alone here. A quick look at forums shows tons of users saying the same thing. Once the battery health drops below 80%, the daily endurance just falls off a cliff. The A15 chip is still so capable, it makes the failing battery feel even more frustrating. The iPhone 17 Pro, on the other hand, is a massive leap forward. The battery life is incredible, and that's partly thanks to the new unibody design that made room for a larger battery. Paired with the more efficient A19 Pro chip, it's a night and day difference. This is one of the most significant real-world upgrades you'll feel coming from a 13 Pro. Okay, let's talk about the biggest upgrade of all, the camera. This is where the 4 years really show. The iPhone 13 Pro has a fantastic triple 12 megapixel system. You get a 3x optical zoom, and the digital zoom goes up to 15x. It also introduced cinematic mode, which was mind-blowing at the time, letting you create that rack focus effect in video, though it was limited to 1080p for a day-to-day or quick photo for social media. It's still solid. But this is where you feel the age the most. With the iPhone 17 Pro, we're going from a triple 12 megapixel system to a triple 48 megapixel system. The detail from the new, larger sensors is just on another level, but it's the zoom that's the real story. On the 17 Pro, because of those 48 megapixel sensors, you get incredible quality at more than 5x, 1x, a 2x crop, a 4x optical zoom, and even an 8x optical quality zoom. It's like having a whole bag of lenses in your pocket. The quality gap is just insane, and you can push the digital zoom all the way to 40x. For video, you can now shoot in 4K at 120 FPS for some truly cinematic slow motion, a big step up from 4K at 60 on the 13 Pro. And the front camera is this wild new 18 megapixel center stage camera that can shoot landscape video even when you're holding the phone vertically. It's a fun and genuinely useful upgrade. Now, software. The iPhone 13 Pro runs iOS 26 beautifully, but it does not support Apple Intelligence. That requires the A17 Pro chip or newer. So is that a deal breaker? For me, honestly, no. And here's why. You know, Apple Intelligence right now is still in its early days. It's kind of like a public beta. And for the heavy lifting AI stuff, I usually find myself using more powerful alternatives anyway, like the Gemini or ChatGPT apps on my phone. They're incredibly capable and available on any modern iPhone, so while it's a difference for my workflow, it's not the reason I'd upgrade. So after all that, where do we land? When you look at these two phones side by side, the 4-year gap represents a truly massive leap in almost every single category. With that in mind, here are my final recommendations. First, if you're holding an iPhone 13 Pro right now and your biggest complaints are the battery life and maybe the inconvenience of the Lightning port, my advice is simple: don't upgrade. Spend $100, get a new battery from Apple, and you can easily ride this phone out for another 1 or 2 years. The day-to-day performance for most tasks is still excellent. However, if you are a content creator, a serious mobile photographer, a hardcore mobile gamer, or just someone who wants the absolute best and most versatile camera, then yes, the iPhone 17 Pro is the first truly massive, meaningful upgrade for you in 4 years. The jump in camera versatility with that 8x zoom and the sustained performance from the new thermal system is not just incremental, it's transformative. For you, the upgrade is absolutely worth it. Now, if you're on a budget, a refurbished iPhone 13 Pro for around $300 is one of the best values in tech. Just make sure it has good battery health and you'll have a flagship experience for a mid-range price. But if you're buying new and you want a device that will be at the top of its game for the next 4 to 5 years, the iPhone 17 Pro is without a doubt the one to get. The performance headroom and the versatility of that new camera system are built for the future. But that's just my take. After digging through all the data, I really want to hear from you. If you're still rocking an iPhone 13 Pro in 2025, what's your battery health at? And what's the one feature in the 17 Pro that tempts you the most? Drop it all in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you found this video helpful in making your decision, a like and subscribe would be amazing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.